3. Colbert converts again.
Outside to Clavell. Oh, off 20-footer. Good! Bounce past the Duffy left hand.
You're watching CTV Sports!
Good evening and thanks for watching another week of CTV Sports. I'm Olivia Landis here to wind down into some spring action.
And I'm Karlee Schwartzkopf. Let's get started with what went down this week. The Colorado State track and field team swept the dual opponents Colorado, Northern Colorado, and Wyoming on each of the women's and men's side at the Finn McGraw Open from the Jack Christensen track on Saturday. In the throws event, Kelsey Bedard won the discus event, recording a new personal best and registered a 4th best in program history. The 2017 indoor shot put national champion Mustafa Hassan also threw the discus on Saturday, winning with a mark of 54.99 meters. Emily Romo's performance in the 200 meters highlighted running events on Saturday, clocking in a time of 24.10 for a new personal best and the 6th best in outdoor time in program history. Macy Kreutz and Dominique Ward took the top spots in the 1500 meter, both running under 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Dalton Fox and Colin Shear placed first and second in men's long jump, both jumping nearly 24 meters. Up next, the track and field team continues outdoor competition next weekend at the Tom Bench Invitational. The all-day meet is set for April 1st and is held in Greeley, Colorado.
Well, spring has sprung officially, which means it is time for spring football practices to take place for the Colorado State football team. Saturday afternoon marked the 3rd of 15 practices for the Rams and the first practice in full padding. With the full padding comes increased physicality and a lot more energy. Head coach Mike Bobo said, quote, "I thought as practice got going, the energy picked up a little bit. Overall, it was a good first day. We're still pushing ourselves the way I would like throughout the practice." End quote. Now let's take an inside look at one of the first spring practices for CSU, courtesy of Ram Vision. Why was that so zoomed in on me? Why did they have it so zoomed in on me?
The receivers I've been really pleased with. Michael Galla, Preston Williams, BC Johnson, and Dietrich Clark has had 2 really good days, and we're thin in the secondary, this spring. But we got to accept that challenge and go out there and compete every day of going against those guys. And it's only going to help us. We're not going to win every battle, but to go against those guys in practice will help us in the back end. Probably say it every year. I think the running back group is probably one of the hardest practicing segments, hardest guys that practice out there as a segment. They go out there and they try to get better every day, and that's a credit to Coach Applewhite, and it's a credit to those 2 guys in that room that provide the leadership for that room. And there's always little things that we can improve on.
The Rams now look forward to taking a couple days off, but we'll head back to action on Tuesday afternoon in full pads again. Well, it's time for a short break.
But when we return, we'll talk some softball and tennis.
Tune in to KCSU, your student-run radio station at Colorado State University. Live 24 hours a day, every day at 90.5 FM and kcsufm.com. Live local new music now, and news, talk, and sports. KCSU, the radio voice of Colorado State, on the air since 1964.
You're watching CTV, produced by Colorado State University students, bringing you news, weather, sports, and entertainment from campus and beyond. CTV live Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on campus and Fort Collins on Channel 11. Repeats at midnight, 8 a.m., noon, and 2 p.m.
The Rocky Mountain Collegian is your student-run news and information platform. Pick up your paper on campus or around Fort Collins Monday through Thursday with special editions Fridays. And check out collegian.com anytime for all the latest updates. News, sports, entertainment, opinion, and more. The Rocky Mountain Collegian, serving Colorado State since 1891.
College Avenue has been your student magazine for the last 10 years. College Avenue prints once a month, covering topics that are relevant to the CSU and Fort Collins community. We also print special editions like the graduation guides at the end of each semester, the best of CSU each fall, and the orientation guide each summer. Look for us on racks around campus, off campus, or online at collegian.com under the College Avenue tab.
In its second road trip to the state of Nebraska, the Colorado State women's tennis team pulled off a come-from-behind victory over the Creighton Blue Jays on Saturday afternoon. The victory improves the Rams' mark to 5-0 over Creighton since 2003. The Rams' number 1 and number 2 doubles pairs came out playing well Saturday, nearly shutting out Creighton 10-7. CSU's number 1 duo of Alyssa Grijalva and Emily Kobau swept their opponents 6-0, while Riley Reeves and Celine Voss were close behind, winning 6-1. The second day of competition for the Rams started off with a slow start against the Omaha Mavericks. But with some help from freshman Grijalva, she claimed the first singles win for the Rams to give them an early 20-0 advantage. The Mavericks inched closer with a win at number 1, forcing the Rams to win one of the final 2 matches to win the overall competition 5-2. Next up, Colorado State begins Mountain West action at Boise State on Friday and Utah State on Sunday.
The Colorado State Rams used a pair of 5-run innings to their advantage this past Sunday to claim an 11-5 victory over the San Diego State Aztecs at Ram Field. The Rams, who are now 15-10 on the season and 3-3 in Mountain West play, took 2 out of the 3 this weekend against the Aztecs to claim the series. Freshman Karina Gamboa led the way on Sunday, tallying a season-high 4 RBIs. Sports reporter Alexandria Clow got to sit down with head coach Fisher to talk some specifics.
Welcome to the Colorado State Softball Update. I'm Alexandria Clow, and joining me today is head coach Jen Fisher. Now, the softball team just kicked off conference play playing Boise State this last weekend, and CSU did walk away with a one win out of the 3-game series. How was it watching Haley Hutton play? She had a pretty big role in Friday's game.
She definitely did. She played great. She got on base every possible way. And after the series was over, she got a lot of compliments even from the opposing coach. She's just that kind of player that plays hard, makes great plays, can get on base, and just a real leader for her team. So yeah, it was fun to see her kick off the conference series with such a conference season of her senior year with such a great series.
Yeah, that's a great way to start it.
Yeah.
And then the other 2, Amber and Taryn, they both had home runs.
Yeah.
On the 3rd game of this series. Kind of touch base on that a little bit.
Well, they've been working really hard, and Taryn is just, as a senior, I'm really proud of her because she's made some adjustments, and a lot of times the senior will be a little bit stubborn about making any adjustments, but she's done a fantastic job for us for 3.5 years, and it was really fun to see her get that home run. I just wish the defense could have played a little bit better because we ended up kind of giving that game away with so many errors, but definitely exciting things that we're seeing on offense from Taryn, from Haley, from Amber.
And touching base on Amber again, she had that was her 8th home run of the season. Kind of give me a little bit of her stat history of the season so far.
She's getting on base a lot. They're pitching around her, so she's drawing a lot of walks, which is great. She's a catcher, and catchers usually have a great eye, and she's using that to her advantage. So I really appreciate her as a catcher because she's able to separate, her offense from her defense. Like if she didn't get on, she doesn't carry it onto the field. She's also thrown out quite a few runners, and so overall, we're just really happy with the way Amber's playing right now, and I think her and I both want her to just keep tapping into that potential because we don't want her to start resting on her laurels because she's got even more potential.
Good. And what is the team looking forward to most in this next series against San Diego State?
I think just having San Diego State at home is really an advantage for us this year, and they always play really tough at their place. They've played really well here too, but it's just nice to be home. I think we made some great strides. We worked on our mental game this whole last week, and I think we saw some positive things from that. We just got to clean some stuff up on defense, and I think we're going to, show some people in conference that what we're all about. The other thing is everybody split at least, so everybody at least took, is 2-1 or 1-2. So that's a positive. Nobody in the conference is starting to run away with anything yet. So that's kind of what our focus is.
Good. Well, it's still a full season ahead.
Yep.
So good thing to look forward to.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining me, Coach Fisher. That wraps up this week's Colorado State Softball Update. I'm Alexandria Clow.
Up next, CSU will play 2 consecutive road series against New Mexico and San Jose State. The next home game for the Rams will be April 11th versus Northern Colorado.
It's time for another break.
Coming up, we've got some lacrosse and basketball.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
The Colorado State Club's men's lacrosse team has become renowned as one of the best clubs lacrosse teams in the country. The Rams are in the midst of another successful year and have championship aspirations. CTV Sports reporter Tim McCall was able to talk to some of the members of the lacrosse team and gain some interesting insight on the sport of lacrosse and the program here at CSU.
One of the best spring sports teams at CSU is one that you may not know about. The Colorado State Club men's lacrosse team is halfway through their regular season and are nationally ranked in the Division I Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association, also known as the MCLA. The Rams have had a history of success and own the MCLA record for most championships won, with 6. This year's team is hoping to add to that record and create one more lasting memory for the 17 seniors on the team. I was able to attend a CSU lacrosse practice with the hopes of gaining more insight on the sport of lacrosse and the successful program here at CSU. What I found is a group of guys who are as close as family, eager and ready to make another championship run.
We had a strong season last year. We went 10-5 overall and made it back to the national tournament after the team missed it the year prior. So far this season we're sitting at 6-4, which is a few more losses than we'd like to have. They've all come in tight contests with other ranked opponents. We're still sitting at number 10 in the country right now, but we've got our work cut out for us.
The CSU lacrosse team views themselves as more than a team. The word family is inscribed on the glove of each and every player. The atmosphere of camaraderie amongst the team is a contributing factor to the team's success and meant a lot to everybody that I spoke with.
And, you know, when I first got here, it was kind of a small group of guys, and we've just built into this kind of family of a team. And, you know, we started off with these little fields, and we've kind of grown. All our fields are painted now, and so it's grown quite a bit.
I think we're all confident on finishing the season out strong and to the best of our ability, and really just kind of playing for each other, and especially for the seniors. I mean, it's our last, you know, hopefully 8 to 10 games left for, you know, maybe our careers. So it's nice to kind of, you know, think that you're putting all on the line and doing what you can for your teammates and for your family.
So we've talked about it since day one with this team. We have 17 seniors. So it's kind of a win or bust year for us. Really hoping to end up, you know, at the end of the week in May in the national tournament, hopefully winners. So.
With the goal of a national title looking like a real possibility rather than a pipe dream, the team is hopeful that more fans will come out and cheer the Rams to victory. Members of the team believe that a strong turnout by the fans improves the energy of the team and makes playing the game of lacrosse that much more enjoyable.
The bigger the crowd, the better. It kind of helps us as players kind of, you know, see the support and see the love of the, you know, the community around us and our fans, and you know, it really boosts our confidence on playing and who we're playing against, especially. Either doesn't matter who we're playing, but the bigger the crowd, the more fun we have, the better we play. And the better experience is for everyone on and off the field.
It's really cool to see all those people out there. We also played down at Mile High a couple times when I was a freshman and a sophomore, and seeing those big crowds and hearing all the loud people cheering really gets you hyped up and really gets you going and makes you really want to win.
Last few years we played at Hughes, and we've been able to get a lot more just kind of students out, which has been awesome. And now we're playing CU this year on the lagoon just over yonder, and so we're hoping to have a huge turnout for that as well.
That game against the Colorado Buffalo will take place on the Lagoon Field on Saturday, April 15th. For those who have never attended a lacrosse game, Coach Fifield explains what makes the sport of lacrosse so exciting to watch.
It's a fast game, it's an athletic game, it's a physical game. You've got high-speed ball movement, you've got lots of goal scoring, you've got a little bit of something for everyone. So if you're looking for physical contact, you're going to get some of that, if you're like a football fan. If you're a basketball fan, then you definitely found a sport that's going to be exciting for you. Really similar concepts. The field size is obviously very different, but guys are moving around, same defensive stuff, same moving the ball around up there. A lot of similarities to hockey as a stick sport. So there's a lot of skill transference from these other sports that I think makes lacrosse a really awesome melting pot of different sports skills that makes it a great game, a tremendously fun game to play and watch, and a game that is the fastest growing sport in America right now.
If any of that interests you, be sure to attend the 3 remaining Colorado State lacrosse home games and catch some of the action. The Rams will take their next step towards another national title this Thursday, March 30th, against Utah Valley. The game will take place on the intramural fields in the middle of campus. Don't miss the Rams in action as they try to gain momentum and prepare for yet another national title run. This has been Tim McCall reporting for CTV.
The CSU men's lacrosse team is ranked 10th in the country, and in most recent Men's Lacrosse Association poll, a win against Nevada Valley this Thursday would provide much-needed momentum heading into the postseason. Don't miss Thursday's action on the intramural fields, and don't forget to check out collegiate.com to see if the CSU lacrosse team can win a record 7th MLCA championship.
Last week, we talked about the Colorado State men's basketball team hosting Cal State Bakersfield for the second round of the NIT. Unfortunately, the Rams' run in the tournament came to a close after CSU couldn't slow down the Roadrunners' hot first half, falling 81-63. There's some good news, however. CSU head coach Larry Eustace was named the National Association of Basketball Coaches District 17 Coach of the Year, his 3rd award this season. Seniors Gene Clavel and Emmanuel Amagbo were also named first team All-District. Now, speaking of basketball, Karlee, we have officially made it to the NCAA's Final Four with South Carolina, UNC, Gonzaga, and Oregon. What do you have going for this Final Four?
Well, it's pretty cool. North Carolina is really the only team that's but was expected to be in this Final Four. Mm-hmm. The rest of these teams, especially this is great for South Carolina. A lot of these coaches, actually all the coaches except for North Carolina, have never coached in a Final Four game. Mm-hmm. Truly, sums up this idea of March Madness, that anything can happen. These small schools can really, make a big name for themselves in this tournament.
You bring up a really good point. Coach Williams is actually the only coach that has coached in the Final Four, and he has over 500 minutes in a Final Four game at his career at UNC. None of the other coaches for any of the other teams have ever coached in a Final Four, and it's actually South Carolina's first appearance in a Final Four, which is pretty crazy. UNC is actually the only team in my bracket that I had making it to the Final Four.
Yeah, my bracket is absolutely
destroyed.
Trash. And Duke is my team, and they lost to South Carolina, so I'm kind of rooting for them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that game last night, that UNC and Kentucky, how crazy that game was. Kentucky was down by 3, and then Monk made that clutch 3-pointer. He made 2 back-to-back to tie it at 75, and then they had 5 seconds left to play. All they had to do was play 5 seconds of defense, and then UNC took it away.
Yeah, that's kind of sometimes how it goes down when you score 3 that late in the game, but there's still those seconds on the clock. Mm-hmm. I was watching it with some of my friends, and I was just saying, this sucks. He made that 3, but they're going to score right down here, and Luke May did just that.
Yeah, actually, Bonnie Bernstein, let's pull up one of her tweets. She had a pretty classic and funny tweet here after Luke May did score that 2-pointer with just 6 seconds left. March Madness, April showers, and May flowers. Heels, #Final Four bound. That is so true. Luke May was really the clutch player for UNC in that game.
Yeah, and that's a really hard shot to make. It was kind of cool. Christian Leitner, who is also number 32, like Luke May, tweeted out to him, and he's like, Luke, may the force be with you. Go kick it, go kill it at the Final Four. So it's kind of cool that UNC and Duke rivalry can, be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be voting for the underdogs, South Carolina, I think, because, it's their first Final Four appearance. Hopefully they'll make it. I'm definitely not rooting for UNC. Just going to throw that out there.
Same.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up this week's CTV show.
Be sure to check out coverage throughout the week on our Twitter accounts and YouTube page. Have a great night.